The olive trees, tribute to Sister Gval. She walks in the beauty of thousands of years, like generations of rooted women before her who walk firm, strong, determined, feet firmly planted in Palestinian soil. Homeland where roots deep, heavy, and plump like ripe olives, glistening in acres of groves, awaiting harvest by loving hands. Hands which are firmly connected to sprouting babies who will bear sacred oil, tasty foods, and familial breaths across the land. She walks in faith, her eyes lovely and kind, a sliver of a window into joy, pain, horror, longing, and courage. Some may fail to recognize this if they cannot smell the sweet fragrance of olives, freedom, and hope, which reside deep inside. A legacy she and the ancestors have nurtured, which floats from the vast groves of olive trees and makes its way home to tender arms. She is beauty undefined, lovely soft skin of iris, rose, and hyacinth petals. She knows the meaning of milk and honey and dates and figs, an ancient land which cultivates families, health, and love, souls longing from the sea, from the mountains, from the lovers embracing sprouts as they wind their way through the gardens undefined. Once upon a time, upon her lips is the sweetness of strawberries and watermelon. On hot drenched days with coolness, smiles, laughter, the refreshing taste of freshly picked fruit embraces her smile still. She is beauty of Hamel, awaiting the birth of return, pregnant with hope, courage, and dreams. The power of duas fill her pen as she furiously writes memoirs and poetry until the soil gives birth to tiny plants, which in turn grow into viable, strong young warriors. She is beautiful and strong, and her resolve is unshakable. Her leaves and branches extend in determination to live. Her heart beats in love for her wonderful home called Palestine. She is freedom, long silky hair swaying in the breeze. Larks sing melodically from a distance. As she sips sweet sage or mint tea, she is a fierce freedom fighter singing in the voice of a songbird. She is the mother calling for a relentless awakening to a country's rape and genocide. She is a force to be reckoned with, for her fingers are symmetrically tapered to fit the key to home. She is one of the strongest points of resistance, birthing children during explosions and extermination, preparing dead sons, daughters, husbands for janaza, comforting others through prayer and sharing tears. This woman of Palestine is the backbone of freedom. With carefully loving embroidered dresses, that from which only history can weave such threads, are generations of hands that have comforted and protected many. She is a creation of divine faith in a revolutionary struggle. She is an inspiration to the world to wake up from the slumber of deception. She is Palestinian woman, strong, courageous, a warrior, a healer, a comforter. She is among the ancient olive trees, breathing in all their scents and secrets. She, in all her beauty, grief, and glory, has many stories, and like the olive trees, is rooted deeply in her beloved land. She is a precious Palestinian rose.
In the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man rules, and everything in the blue dream is memory, scripture, bound by rock, icons long dead, enemies scattered to kingdoms of priests, holy nations, kindred and tongue. We are as pilgrims in paradise, round edges of a clock, hummingbirds gathering what we plant. It is all there, plain before us, simple as a sheet of glass. We travel over these landscapes like there's no place better, conjure colors yet leave images in the places we move through in shades of gray. The weapons formed against us prosper and feed like victims of a cosmic plot. The ghost behind us, a journey backward to the scent of magnolias, bullwhips present in the history. Our words, thrown into universes, if not taken back, linger there, haunting our steps like garlands for a tiny dark king. Here is the killing ground. All we are when a small African man is murdered in a doorway. A red truck on a dust road drags the last body till the head is torn, to remind how many more are slaughtered. For these United States, there's always an Ethiopian in the woodpile, one more river to cross, a barren one who sings for the desolate. Beat your swords into plowshares, lay stones for the tiny dark king. Be John the Revelator after the eye of the needle. Let the mercy seat be draped in more than burial cloth. We are not a science of idiots who refuse to give up our suffering. We will not keep it down to a low scream, burying our dead with nothing to mark their passing, except the rocks that silence breaks.
Under the tree with the great long leaves lay thistledown where we rest. Roots spread out from under the tree, the great white roots of peace. High in the tree with the great long leaves, eagle circles high. Watchful eyes will keep us safe, so we can gently dream, dream and touch the sky. In the sky above the tree with the great long leaves, a small world moves along, swaying with the moon and sun to bring us each a song, telling us where we belong. Under the tree with the great long leaves lay thistledown where we rest. Roots spread out from under the tree, the great white roots, the great white roots of
love work. Sometimes a hopelessness overwhelms me, and sometimes I remember the seeds I tend in this small garden have roots, and roots connect. Through time and space, the dreamers and dreams of a world where all are needed and cared for, seen and safe. Trust in. It is not hope that moves me, like the young bird to the edge of what I've known, but a trust in these wings and in the mystery to hold me flying. Ceasefire. A tree is held by roots to place, as home is so for people. Not a house but home, the way one soul becomes the earth in season. The joyful green of ever spring, the quiet and honest winter. There's not much more that we each need than to a place belong.
When I was young, Mom said, no talking politics at the dinner table, pass the vegetables. But 4 students were killed at Kent State. Sprinkle the salad with dressing. Burglars broke into the DNC headquarters at the Watergate Hotel. Butter your toast. Women's rights, civil rights, gay rights? Enough, Mom says. It gives us agita when we argue. Sit on your hands or walk away. My friend phones to chat. No politics, her rule. Tell me how the kids are. But Standing Rock? Come to visit soon. The weather's warm. Charlottesville? I went for a long walk on the beach. Women's March on Washington, Me Too, immigration? She won't discuss. Let's chat next week, she says, and hangs up. Throw on a straitjacket and muzzle your maw. The nurse at school declares her Trump support and then crazy schedule today. The Mueller report? Send the kids to me before boarding the bus. Black Lives Matter? Children in cages? Climate disasters? That's all horrible, but let's agree to disagree. You look good. I like that dress. Others listen in. Agree to disagree, they say, shaking their heads at me. Anyone listening? Ukraine and Russia, the Mideast, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, wars, wars, wars. Choke on silence? I was never good at that.
Quote, hurt people, unquote. Activist Anonymous. White elephant trunk, breathing tube snaking from busted blue, black Botox lips, snaking from swollen, battered, bloodied face, snaking from a stop ending errands and dreams. Presto, another mother's atmospheric river of tears. Black magic melanin body cameras training on Tennessee's Tonton Macoute. Unconscious streams of raw sewage spurting from blue donut holes under color of law. Plantation medicine men overdosing, boot, fist, shot, club, chemical cures for traffic stop. For their suspect, police pinatas, new identity. Black magic melanin body cameras training on Tennessee's Tonton Macoute. Thank you for your Confederate service. Thank you for your apartheid state vitamin S fueled skill sets, for your toxic Memphis masculinity. And thank you for your service at a Kabul, Bagram, Baghdad, Port-au-Prince stop. Black Magic Melanin body cameras training on Tennessee's Tonton Macoute. Bullwhip behavior mirroring Twin Cities, Big Apple, City of Angels, Windy City, City of Brotherly Love, beatdown zones. Cop City battlefields where chokeholds, neo-teens, and improvised firing squads lurk, waging war of terror. Sweeping tents, tarps, cardboard mattresses into hungry jaws of garbage trucks, grinding human rights into gunpowder. Black Magic Melanin body cameras training on Tennessee's Tonton Macoute. Skinned folks playing basketball, pledging Greek, praying to the same God, and unwrapping riddles from fantasy called community control of wild boars.
The Weight of Grief in the World, Canto for the First Quarter of the 21st Century. A contempt for the people is one of the many things shared by state and private terror. Eduardo Galeano, 2001. The weight of grief in the world, nowhere new, weighs heavier, drifts over borders, each grief as new as snowflakes. Tiny griefs, a dog by the bowl, the cat waiting for the open door, as the salt of the earth dispersed to cinders with their morning coffee. From Guernica to Baghdad to Rafah, our side is the bombed. There can be no number attached to the weight of grief in the world. Just 5 minutes to forget, to remember what it was like before this happened. I wake up every morning and I face fear, and I get up and go to work anyway. And the September 11th, Chile, Haiti, New York, and there can be no forgetting the weight of grief in the world. Welcome to your history, America, said the young Sri Lankan woman refugee, expressing pain, anger, and determination of thousands, demonstrating against the new U.S. war. As under capitalism, there is always a new war. The old war is dead. Long live the war. Pain because another several thousand, mostly working people, settling into or serving their first cup of coffee for the tea for the day, fighting another daily fire, bite the dust. Anger because for decades in Africa, Latin America, the Middle East, and Asia, workers and farmers, women and children first, have fallen swiftly under bombs, invasions, and counterinsurgency, slowly under blockades, boycotts, merciless and murderous policies of structural adjustment. Few beyond their immediate families knew or shared this pain. Determination that this state of affairs must end. No more war, not only new, but an end to all the old wars, the occupation of Palestine, the blockade of Cuba, the Columbia Plan. Those who scorn the salt of the earth, who forget the weight of grief in the world, will drown in its ashes at the end of empire. The end of empire, anyone knows by reading the National Geographic, King Tut, Ming, Inca, Rome, and all that. feeling it in our bones, coursing through our blood. When the towers fall, when the waters rise, whose side are you on at the end of empire?
One person. Believe me, one person would have been enough to push me over the edge. Why did everyone want to get involved? What makes me remember? She spends her day opening doors. I spend it closing them. She spends the night turning off the lights. I spend it turning them back on. She spends her time moving from one room to another. I spend it caving in my own room. I think he might come back, she's trying to say. I think death may come back, I'm trying to say. But pain alone is what keeps coming back. With his memories, but without him. My mother is left with no legs, and I'm left with no arms, searching loss. How do I tell her that what makes her forget the most is what makes me remember the most?